I'm going to give you a secret to the secret that I think everyone's been overlooking, and using this knowledge, maybe you'll be able to find the treasure cask that you want to go search for. In 1982, Byron Priess came out with a book called The Secret, A Treasure Hunt. Readers would come to find that this was more than just a good book, but a real-life treasure hunt. Using the poems and paintings in the book, you could go on your very own adventure. You may not even have to leave the city you lived in, or even your house. And unlike other legends, this story and treasure casks are guaranteed to be real. 3 have been found, leaving 9 more still out there. And using what is believed to be a very simple technique, I think I know where one is.
Reading a book that's called The Secret, the author of this book had hidden 12 ceramic boxes in various spots around the country, and he planted clues in his book which guided all the young treasure hunters. The hints, which were hidden inside a poem, led them to a spot in Grant Park near the Illinois Central Railroad yard. Well, after digging there on and off for 6 months, they actually found the prize, and the 3 lucky treasure hunters are here with us today.
If you've come looking for adventure, then you're in the right spot. I talk about history, folklore, and that little gray area where the two meet. Now, towards the end of this, I will be giving you some free information on how I read these poems, because I feel as though I've managed to solve one of the riddles with this technique that I've been using. But first, if you're part of the group of people that haven't even heard of this treasure hunt, or you just want a refresher, let's try to understand what The Secret is. In the late 70s, a man named Byron Priess contacted several people for a project. He needed 12 casks, and each one completely unique and different from the other. Along with each cask, he would need a key to be held within. Both of these items would have unique handcrafted designs and patterns. He requested 12 pictures and sent the painter photographs of objects and cities and towns to conceal within the paintings. After he completed the paintings, the photos were then destroyed. And now all that was left was the publication of his book, and when it hit the shelves, people everywhere were not impressed. Byron was already an author, and his previous book, Masquerade, was outselling his new treasure hunt book. However, within a few months, nearly 700 people had written into Priess to tell him they knew where his treasure was. His book didn't make as many sales as previously hoped for, but overall, the point of The Secret was really all about immigration and people coming to the United States and where they first came to call home. Through this book, after the poems and pictures and puzzles, he gives us iterations of cryptid-type creatures. They're all staged and photographed as if they were caught in the wild and documented as though they were real. These were known as the fair folk. They also came to this land with the everyday humans that made the voyage here. It was stated that the fair folk were the ones to hide precious gemstones in specific locations, and people continued to email Byron, giving him their solves. None of the emailers managed to give the correct location to where these casks were. But so far, there's been a total of 3 successful treasure hunts to this day. It would be 2 years before the first cask was found in 1983 in Chicago, Illinois. Eric Gasarowski, Bob Roble, and David James were just teenagers at the time they unearthed this treasure, and in return received a precious gemstone. And the second would be in Cleveland, Ohio in 2004, but the next one wouldn't be found until 2019. Which leads us to the question, what is the treasure? What is it you find when you reach the end of the rainbow? The following is an excerpt from The Secret. What are the treasures the fair folk bring? Easily named and lovingly told. Fairies of England proudly bear garnet, crown jewel of their queen. Brilliant as eyes of Celtic folk, cold morning green, their emerald. The hadass of Iberia, sapphire, shy as a wild field flower. Turquoise the fays of France keep, stone, rare as a blue midsummer's day. Dwarves treasure purple amethyst, imperial star of Germany. The opal of the lowland gnomes, a cloud of shining, shifting smoke. A topaz is the Russian prize, the royal sunstone, frozen fire. Peridot of old Italy, antique, olivine, and rich. The ruby out of Araby, scarlet of desert sky at dawn. Africa's diamond, earth-born star, bright harvest of the midnight rock. The nymphs of Hellas cherish sweet aquamarine, spring water clear. From far Cathay, the dragon's pearl, chaste, perfect as a silver moon. Each jewel in its weird wrought cask, gift of the Viking craftsman elves. wonder and glory 13-fold. These are the treasures the fair folk bring. Assuming you could find your way there, or even locate the treasure cask without having to leave your home, there was one of two ways that you could claim your prize. You could contact the park or landowner and explain what it is you're looking for and hope they give you permission to dig on site. Or you could write into Byron, explain yourself and location, and assuming that you were right, then he would go out, retrieve the cask, and mail you the gemstone. Now I am going to tell you how I managed to get my solution in a minute, but first, we need to talk about Byron. Byron was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1953. He was an author, writer, and editor, and has written over 40 books in total. In 1971, at the age of 19 years old, Byron wrote, alongside his friend Jim Steranko, an anti-drug comic book designed for low-level reading. In 1974, he founded Byron Priess Visual Publications. He made comics, novels, and even went on to publish children's books by celebrities, including Billy Crystal, Jane Goodall, Jay Leno, Leanne Rimes, and Jerry Seinfeld, and worked closely with such established illustrators as Ralph Reese, William Stout, and Tom Sutton. And in 1982, he published what he is most well known for, The Secret, a treasure hunt. He was an intelligent, driven man who wanted to bring some magic to the world in the form of history and treasure. It seemed as though he was exactly what the world would need, but something happened that would change everything. On July 9th, 2005, Byron was traveling through East Hampton in New York when he was in a car crash. He didn't survive. Later on, in February 2006, Byron Priess Publications filed for bankruptcy. While Byron may be resting and his company gone, his books are still in print and The Secret is still available to be solved. Sandy, his wife, and Cara and Blair Priess, his daughters, would continue what he started in 2019 when the third gemstone was found in Boston, Massachusetts.
Labor love. The journey was the treasure in and of itself.
The thing that they really got out of it is that sort of anything is possible, something that we never would have thought was possible, we actually accomplished.
His entire book was really just about finding your roots and discovering the history that we live within every day. And overall learning to love the little things in life, because at the end of our time here, all we have is the experiences we've had, the memories we create, and the friends we made along the way. It may sound a little cheesy to some folks, but looking through the eyes of our predecessors, you learn the value of the journey. It's not just about the reward at the end of the quest, it's about the things you had to go through to get there. They make a permanent change in your character and readjust the direction your life would be heading had you not gone out and struggled for what you wanted, just like these other people who found their casks. So how exactly did these searchers become finders? Well, right before we go into detail about my secret, about The Secret, let's look at our predecessors and see what we can learn from them. So let's look at the most recent find in 2019 and how the man and his kids managed to solve The Secret.
Thousands of people have been searching for it for 40 years since it had been buried. What we wanted to do was take a big step back and try not to overcomplicate it. Just look at the clues in the image, look at the clues in the verse.
So overall, it's a lot of correlation between physical objects and historic events. So this secret is so simple, you're probably going to be kicking yourself for not acknowledging or realizing that these poems are organized like this. But first, I just want to say, if you've been enjoying this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing, because it does so much for the growth of the channel. And if you would like to also go out and discover new treasure hunts and legends that I haven't talked about, then you're definitely going to want to hear about Areas Gray. Areas Gray is an incredible site where I myself have managed to find the majority of my information for The Secret, a treasure hunt. I've used it for this video and the Treasure of Lima video, where I found historical pictures of people that I previously couldn't find. It's free to connect with them, and the man in charge of it all, Adam, is a great guy and loves talking all things treasure. Check him out after this video. The link is in the description below. So here's the deal with The Secret poems. Obviously the direction is to the treasure, but stop overthinking it and just listen to what that means. They're directions. Byron wants people to find these casks, but he doesn't want it to be easy. That's why he didn't just say, go down, take a left, and dig at the tree. And I'm sure some of you are saying, well, of course they're directions, as if they didn't know that already. But here's the way they're organized. First, they give you a general vicinity, like an island or a county, and then once you've located that large area, he tells you to go down a specific road or path to get to your secondary spot where the treasure is hidden. For example, at Stonewall's door, the air smells sweet. It's a general location, and once you get there, you'll see high posts of 3. So you made it to spot 1, and now you're going to spot 2. Spot 2 is running north, but first across in the jewel's direction, is an object of Twain's attention. So now if you follow the directions to get to the second location, you'll see something that was very important to Mark Twain, but also it just gave you the location of the treasure cask, across in the jewel's direction. So now you know once you've located whatever it is Mark Twain would be paying attention to, then you go across from that and you'll see a giant pole. As it says here, giant pole, giant step to the place where the cask is kept. Did you spot the pattern? The first location is of historical significance, and the second is a significant object in that area. And lastly, you're given directions on where to go. Don't get caught up in thinking everything is continuously related to history, because at some point, Byron had to stop and look around and say, I need to lead them here. And he did. Now, as far as which stone I believe I've located and where it is, that's going to be a little ways off. So be sure to subscribe so that way when I finally do find it, you'll be one of the first to know. And if you'd like your own copy of The Secret, a treasure hunt, then there's a link down below. Full disclosure, it is a paid affiliate link. Now, YouTube's almighty algorithm has told me to show you this video here, so I'll see you there.